know, the more you move your neck in varying degrees of motion, the more you stimulate your vestibular. Your vestibular is your balance and equilibrium center in your body. People with healthy vestibulars are naturally more flexible and have more range of motion and mobility in the body. Unfortunately, someone came up with the unhelpful cue of always keeping your head still when you exercise. When we don't move our neck, our body becomes more rigid and stable. This is a great thing for some movement patterns. However, if you're used to doing these type of movements, we want to upregulate them and make them harder. How we do that is by moving our neck, which stimulates our vestibular, takes us slightly off balance, makes all of our stabilizing muscles kick in, which means we're going to be stronger, we're going to be better at balance, and have better mobility and flexibility overall. So next time you're in the gym, add some movements in your neck and your entire body from the brain down will thank you for it. Having stiffness, pain, or persistent tightness in the neck can energetically mean a resistance to change, a stubbornness to see things in a different way or light, having a closed-off, restricted energy or mindset, and always feeling stuck in the situation that you are in, feeling tied down and unable to change it. The energy that enters the neck is a gateway to openness, clarity, and taking in the many different viewpoints life has to offer. Having awareness and expansive energy through what one views important in life. Having an open mind and being adaptive to situations. So ask yourself, what's holding me back? What don't you want to look at that may be keeping you stuck in one frame of thinking? Rigid, tense, stubborn to change, or ignoring that deeper call for change in your life? And what can you do today to start looking at things with a more open, adaptive mindset? Over the last few posts, we have been talking about the neck and the importance of the neck. We've been through why we should move it. If we don't, we're going to lose the mapping in our brain, and also the energetic reason behind maybe a persistent neck pain. But today, it's going to take a little bit longer than a reel. I'm going to give you an amazing exercise that you can start with to relieve neck pain and to increase your range of motion in your neck. I'm going to give you one. If you want more neck mobility, I highly recommend you jump onto my website, www.elined.com.au. So yesterday we spoke about the energetic persistence of a neck. That can be something to look at if you've tried everything else physically, okay? And definitely looking at the hierarchy of the brain. So that's what we're going to talk about a little bit today. So most of the time, a stiff, tight neck comes from the hierarchy of your brain. The most important areas of your brain, the information coming into your brain, comes from your eyes and your balance. And I've said this many times before. There's a lot of information out there about posture through the neck. You know, lots of this forward rounding neck shape. So I'm going to maybe give you a different view on that. Yes, we get very good at adaptability. So if we do something over and over and over again, we are going to become very good at doing that thing. So if we are constantly sitting at our computer in a single range of motion, we're going to get really excellent at doing that. However, I also want to bring your attention to why you may be sitting like this at your computer. It could be poor posture, but more likely it's because of the hierarchy of your brain. Now, if you can't see the computer screen, what are you going to do with your posture? You're going to lean forward, squint your eyes, and be in this posture. If you can see the computer screen, you're more likely to sit up normally. If you can't hear very well, how are you going to move around the world? Like this, okay? So the hierarchy of your brain determines the movement and posture of your body. I'm going to give the number one reason that someone has a stiff, tight neck is because they're not seeing very well through their eyes and also probably not hearing very well. They have persistent posture that is stagnant during the day, meaning they are constantly in one range of motion for a long time during the day, which causes that adaptability in those muscles and fascia and joints and bones to kind of be stuck. And number three, if you don't move it, you lose it. So if you're not getting a lot of variation in your range of movement during the day, then you are decreasing the input into your vestibular, which is your balance center. And if your balance center and your eyes aren't working efficiently in your brain's going to feel unsafe moving around in the world, and it's going to lock you up from here down. Here, it's going to lock you up. It's going to lock you up here. The lower back's going to be tight and stiff. Everything's going to be sore, tight and stiff, and you're going to move around the world slower because that's safer than if you are running around off balance and going to hit your head on the ground. So I'm going to give you one exercise today. I learnt this when I studied the functional neurology with Zed Health, and this is called a VOR drill. It helps bring information to your vestibulo-ocular nerve, which is your balance and your eye nerve working together to create better movement. You don't have to worry about the fancy stuff behind it. What you will need is this. Grab yourself an A4 piece of paper and draw a dot right in the center of that paper. Then you are going to draw a line straight down the middle of the page through the dot. You're going to draw a line across the page through the dot, and then a diagonal line. You could do this with a ruler if you want to make it very neat. And that is all I want you to do for your neck and eye exercises. Once you have drawn your piece of paper, what you need to do is keep your eyes on the center dot. You're never going to move your eyes from that dot. They stay fixated on that dot. Now your nose turns into a pen, okay? And what you are doing is drawing with your nose 5 times per line. So I'm going to give you a little example here. So if this was in front of me, there, and I've got this line up here, I'm going to pretend the camera is the line of action. So there's my dot where the camera is. Nose turns into the pen. I'm going to do that 5 times. Now it's quite difficult for some people to do this because your eyes determine where your movement goes. So a lot of people will go, and try and move their eyes first. We are cancelling that out, so I want you to keep your eyes fixated on the dot. Then you're going to the second line. My eyes are in the center 5 times. And you're going to work around these lines, fixating on the middle dot, using your neck in these different ranges of motion. Film yourself doing it, or get someone to watch you doing it, because it's most likely that you will move your eyes off the dot to move your head, okay? It is quite a difficult drill, but it's so healthy and important for your brain function, but also your neck mobility and the communication between your eyes and your balance. If you want more brain-changing movement, jump onto my website, become a member for $30 a month, and you can be firing on all cylinders from your brain down to your toe and everything in between.